It's 11:08 at night on February 20th, 2003. You're inside the station, a music venue in West Warwick, Rhode Island. The band Great White is on stage. The guitars are loud. Artificial fog drifts across the crowd. There are roughly 462 people packed into a space designed for 280. You are maybe 50 feet from the stage. Tour manager Daniel Beachel is standing at the side of the stage with two pyrotechnic tubes. At 11:08, he ignites them. These are the same type of stage fireworks the band has used at other shows. White flames and sparks shoot upward and outward behind the musicians. The crowd reacts with excitement. For 3 seconds, it looks like a spectacular show. On the 4th second, the polyurethane foam lining the walls and ceiling behind the stage begins to burn. You don't know this yet. You only see a small flame, maybe the size of a hand, climbing the wall behind the drum kit. Someone near you says, "That's not part of the show." But the band keeps playing for a few more seconds. Vocalist Jack Russell looks back, sees the fire, and the music stops. Polyurethane foam is one of the most flammable materials that exists. It doesn't just burn, it releases toxic gases as it burns. Hydrogen cyanide, carbon monoxide, dioxins. These gases are lethal at concentrations that can be reached in under a minute inside a sealed room. And the foam covered every wall and the entire ceiling. The entire acoustic shell around the stage was made of this material. 55 seconds after ignition, the entire ceiling was on fire. The heat inside reached temperatures capable of melting plastic equipment. In under 90 seconds, visibility inside the club dropped to 0. Black, dense smoke filled the space from the top down. It dropped to eye level, then to waist level. You were crouching to try to breathe, moving in the dark, unable to see where any exit was. There were 4 exits at the station that night. The main entrance in front, a side exit on the left, an emergency exit in the back, and a door behind the bar. The problem was that all 462 other people only knew one exit, the same one they'd walked in through. 462 panicked people converged on the same door at the same time. The entrance corridor was approximately 4 feet wide. Within seconds, it was completely blocked. People who fell were trampled unintentionally by those pressing in behind them. People trying to push through the front shoved the people directly ahead of them. Those caught in the middle couldn't move forward or backward. There was a television camera there that night. A local reporter named Brian Butler was filming a documentary about fire safety at music venues. He captured the first moments of the fire on camera. Then he filmed the crowd trying to get out. Then he ran himself. The footage aired the next day and shocked the world, but in that moment, it only documented the chaos without resolving it. Whoever managed to reach one of the side exits made it out. Whoever knew where the rear emergency exit was made it out. Whoever headed for the front door, many of them didn't. Firefighters arrived within minutes. But when they got there, the roof structure was already beginning to collapse. The interior was inaccessible. They pulled bodies from the blocked entrance. They pulled unconscious people out. 20, 30, 40. In 5 minutes and 30 seconds, under 6 minutes from the moment the pyrotechnics were lit. The entire structure of the station was engulfed in flames. What remained was a skeleton of charred metal and blackened wood. 100 people died. 230 suffered injuries, many of them severe. 96 deaths were immediate. 4 more followed in hospitals in the days after. Some victims were identified only through dental records. Some families were unable to identify their relatives at all because the fire had been too complete. The investigation revealed a chain of failures that made the disaster all but inevitable. The station had no sprinkler system. Local law didn't require one for venues with a capacity under 300, and the club had operated for decades without one. The polyurethane foam installed on the walls was the cheapest available grade, untreated with any fire retardant. The pyrotechnics Beechel used were not rated for indoor use, and the venue was genuinely overcrowded that night. The permit allowed 280 people, and more than 460 were inside. Daniel Beechel, the tour manager who lit the fireworks, was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 15 years in prison, serving only 4. He issued a public apology. The owners of the station, brothers Michael and Jeffrey Derderian, were also indicted. Michael Derderian pleaded guilty and served time. Jeffrey Derderian reached a deal involving community service. Survivors spoke publicly about their experience in the years that followed. Many said the most disorienting part wasn't the fire itself, it was the complete loss of spatial awareness in the darkness and smoke. You know the exit is there. You know it's only a few feet away, but you can't see it. You can't breathe well enough to call out. Your hands find walls. They find bodies, they find more walls, and the heat keeps rising. The smoke from burning polyurethane causes loss of consciousness in approximately 1 minute of direct exposure. That means many of the victims lost consciousness while still inside the club before reaching any exit at all. They didn't suffocate while running, they simply stopped. And the fire did the rest. On January 13, 2013, almost exactly 10 years later, a near-identical fire broke out at a nightclub called Boat Kiss in Santa Maria in the southern Brazilian state of Rio Grande do Sul. A band was playing. Pyrotechnics were used indoors. Acoustic foam on the walls caught fire. Exits were blocked by panicking crowds. 242 young people died. Those responsible were convicted in 2021, but appeals are still ongoing. The station fire was not an unforeseeable accident. It was the result of a sequence of decisions, each one made by someone who probably thought, this will be fine. The fireworks were used because they'd worked at other shows. The foam wasn't treated because the extra cost didn't seem necessary. The sprinklers weren't installed because the law didn't require them. And the door was narrow because nobody had ever imagined that everyone would try to squeeze through it at the same time. You were there, walking in through the same door everyone else used, watching the same show everyone else came to see. When the flames climbed the wall behind the stage, you had exactly the same seconds as everyone else to decide what to do. Some people moved toward a side exit. Some went for the back. Some looked at those flames for 1 second longer than they should have. 1 second longer. In a fire with burning polyurethane inside an enclosed space, with toxic smoke spreading at that speed, 1 second longer is the difference between telling the story afterward and becoming part of it.